I'm going to invite you to consider that Latinidad and Hispanidad are ideologies, in some cases mythologies. And depending on how you relate to that ideology, you could actually be doing the work of white supremacy. So let me explain. Welcome back to Latino Studies 101. I'm your professor, Dr. Esther Trujillo, and we are walking through the 5th unit of this TikTok University class, which is about Latinos and anti-Black racism. In order to understand that, I'm going to give you some terminology and some things to consider. And the first is, what is Latinidad and what is the function of it? So here's the deal. You know that Latino or Hispanic, Hispano, Latinx, whatever you use, you know that those are demonyms, right? They're identity labels or category labels. So with identity labels, you can choose which ones you ascribe to, or in some cases, they're assigned to you by institutions like the census or the university telling you to pick which category you fall into. But Latinidad or Hispanidad as a concept, as an ideology, those are not just identity labels, they're mythologies. They are narratives about history that explain your origin. And these are stories that people tend to repeat over and over across generations. Latino or Latinidad is about the construction and meaning making of an ethno-racial category. The stories we tell, the histories that we choose to highlight, and more importantly, the boundaries that we enforce, both as members and as non-members, to help us explain who belongs and who does not belong within the category and the mythology of Latinidad. So, who counts as Latino? That is often defined by laying out who does not fit, whose traditions are representative of Latinidad. Again, traditions and ideologies are defined by exclusion, by boundary policing. So it can be decided whose traditions do not belong and do not form this identity. Some customs may be dismissed as too Black, too indigenous, or worse, not authentic, not really Latino. And this is where the idea of panethnicity gets really messy. Panethnicity, or the idea of uniting many people from a similar geographic region under one identity category, is a really messy process. But it has its purposes. Sometimes it's strategic, like it was in the case of LULAC or the League of United Latin American Citizens. They use Latin American instead of their national origins in order to push for a more inclusive agenda of political representation in the United States. Even today, words like Latino